Yo, what it do, St. Louis? It is 7 a.m. on a Tuesday morning, so you know what time it is. It's time for the St. Louis Hustle Podcast with yours truly, CORTEZ Hustle, and that is my girl, Michelle A. And today, we're talking about righteous hustle. Man, a lot of people don't understand that Christians can own businesses and do great things in the name of the Lord and bring him glory and get to the bag where the money resides. We talking all about it this morning. I got a very special guest who's going to come hang out with us. So we're not going to belabor the moment. We're going to officially start the show. So keep it locked right here.
Growing up in St. Louis has never been easy. And most say, if you want to succeed here, that you must leave and put down roots somewhere else because of the strong crabs in a barrel mentality here.
I don't know if I'm just an optimistic person, but to see people like Chuck Berry and Nelly make it in the music industry, or the Roberts brothers and Dave Stewart in business, or William Lacey Clay Jr. in politics, can we blame the city, or is it that people just aren't hungry enough?
We're talking to all of the movers and shakers in this town, from entertainers to politicians, social activists and organizers, and of course, entrepreneurs.
Is there a curse on this city that holds people back? Is there an unseen hand that decides who makes it and who doesn't? You're about to find out.
Welcome to St. Louis Hustle.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the St. Louis Hustle Podcast as Michelle A. is getting herself together. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Do us a huge favor, comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and or your brand for a free business shout out, and we're going to get to where the money resides, but we're going to do it in a righteous way because we're calling this episode Righteous Hustle, man. How to get your grind on in a way that is going to literally bring praises to his name. That's what we're talking about today. So comment in the chat, and remember, if you comment one of your biggest takeaways of the day, we got a free vacation for you. So we'll enter you into a live drawing where you can get a free vacation. So comment where you're from, name of your business and or your brand, and be ready to engage because this is going to be lit. Chalet, how was your weekend?
Man, oh man. Let me tell you something. I am super duper excited about everything, right? And not just because I done had my morning bag. But aside from that, I just had a really, really good weekend. I ran into, I went to I visited a few establishments over the weekend. And I ran into a couple of old comedian friends of mine, and we putting the band back together. Those of you that know me know that I used to do an improv show back in the day, and we did a version of Nick Cannon's Wildin' Out. We did that here in St. Louis. We did St. Louis County versus St. Louis City, and it was a thing we used to do with the old T. Billy Buckets. And so I ran into a friend of mine, and we are going to restart. He wants to restart that improv, and he has asked. Now, back in the day, I hosted it, I organized and ran it along with my good friend DJ Epic. Wicked. And so this comedian has asked me, I'm not gonna say his name because he may not be wanting me to like drop that for real yet, but I'm excited. But so he's asked me to host again for old time's sake, and he's asked DJ Epic to come back on as the DJ.
Love it.
I'm super excited. So God he is moving. He has brought two opportunities back to me 2 days in a row from two comedians that I worked with more than 10 years ago. Another one would be ran into a different comedian from 10 years ago, and he's asked me to be a part of a series that he's doing called Love, Lust, and Loneliness. It's a comedy series, and where I will get to share my my testimony about overcoming the trauma of sexual abuse, especially as an adult in later life. So I'll be able to strategically try to, just help some people get healed by sharing, my story comedically. So it was a great weekend. And then, me and Mr. Wonderful, we went to the lake and did some lake type stuff out at Lake St. Louis. And that was real romantical.
Okay. Mr. Wonderful trying to be a keeper. He's trying to be a keeper.
He's trying to step up just a little bit. I mean, he's still on probation. He ain't been past 90 days.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Wonderful. This is the truth. But he's a good guy. He's a good guy. So we had a great time. So real quick, we're gonna jump into the coronavirus numbers.
The
virus
vid.
numbers.
You got to call it the vid.
The vid. Right. It's getting shorter because it's getting extinct. It's going away. Right. That's how I look when it go away. Boop. So the COVID numbers, they low. How about that? They getting so low. People are getting vaccinated. We are on target now. Biden, which is my president. Okay. First of all, I love Biden because all the goofy stuff that Trump used to do, bless Biden's heart, the post shooter can't walk up steps. I saw a clip of him trying to get up the steps. Bless his heart. I was like, somebody get him
stumble his way in the Air Force One.
I was like, somebody get him an escalator. He got the, come on. He's like 80 million years old.
100 yeah, he's 100 years old. So
yeah,
you gotta give him a little grace.
I know they got the money. Put an escalator on Air Force One. He ain't got to be manually going up steps. You see, he can't handle it. He can't handle it. But so we're on track to reduce the COVID number, or excuse me, to increase vaccines. We should hit by the end. I want to say he said by the end of May we should hit 200 million vaccines. And I'm super. We're already knocking at the door to 100 million. We're at 7,600 million. No, we're at 76 million vaccines for the United States. So we're on track by the end of this month. We got 1 week left in March. We should make our 100 million, which he predicted. That's why he's my president. Okay. So we're just super excited, man. Those are the numbers. We're not gonna focus on those numbers. We're gonna focus on the vaccines. Boom.
Nice. Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, comment in the chat where you're from. Drop the name of your business and or your brand if you're checking us out live on Facebook or YouTube. And smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen. Do not just get all this great information and keep it to yourself. We can't afford to hoard information, people. We got to share. Speaking of sharing this information, I know you got to get to the A word of the day, Michelle, but you realize the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey built an organization. It's still not known exactly how many folks, but some say 1 million, some say 5 million. And he ain't have the Twitter, he didn't have the Facebook, he had people going door to door, flyer to flyer, hand to hand, 1 million plus people in his organization. I'm just saying, so share this information, people, so that everybody can be in the know. So
wait a minute. So what you're saying is if he could do it on foot, with braving the elements, dogs chasing, we should be able to do it on social media. That's what you're trying to say.
Very easily be able to use social media to create a mass movement. I'm just saying.
I think we can do it if people get some act right. I'm talking to you. Okay.
Well, right now on the St. Louis Hustle Podcast, we do an episode or a segment called Michelle A Word of the Day. And we're gonna go ahead and let Michelle loose on y'all. Hey, what's your word for the day, Michelle?
The word for the day is it's a phrase, right? So I was thinking about some stuff. I don't know why I was thinking about rent to own stuff. Maybe because I saw Rent a Center in my apartment complex, apartment community. And I was wondering like who they looking for. Looking for me because my stuff paid for. So it made me think, are you rent to own in your life? Just think about that for a minute. Are you rent to own in your life? Okay, people, that if you think about it, if you're rent to own in your life, this is how you know. I may help you out. This is how you know if you rent to own in your life. Are you copying somebody else's style? Ooh. You're looking over the gate at somebody else, like, oh, they wear that, I'm gonna wear that too, because they look cool and I'm gonna look cool. Are you copying somebody else's style? Do you try to fit in with the in crowd? Oh, they doing that over there, so I'm gonna go do this over there too. Okay, are you doing what you see all the trendsetters do, the people that are considered hip and trendy? Are you emulating their style, people? If so, you could have a rent-to-own lifestyle. I'm just saying. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. See, the reality is, people, we all want to fit in, right? And we know that. We all want to be accepted. We all want love. I just want to be loved, right? So with that, you really have to ask yourself the question, is it really worth it, right? Here, I heard someone say this before, and I've said it on the show before a couple different times. when you gain acceptance, the way that you gain true acceptance is two ways, right? There's two ways to true acceptance. First way is going to be through relationship with Jesus Christ. Boom, I said it, said what I said, ain't no way around it. That's the first pathway to acceptance. And then number two is you get accepted when you realize beyond Christ, you don't need to be accepted by him. His acceptance is enough, right? And when you stop worrying about fitting in and being accepted and being put in a box with 100 other folks, people kind of start to gravitate to you because they see you doing your own thing. You know what I'm saying? I look at it like this. We was all bought and paid for with a price. Okay. So this life is not your own. However, it belongs to the one person that can allow you to live your freest, best life. Okay. Not just your best life, your freest, best life. You know what I'm saying? So I want to encourage people with this A word of the day, live free. You were created to live free, right? There's true freedom through relationship with Jesus Christ. You don't need to fit in. You don't need to be accepted by this person and that person. When you realize who you are, whose you are, that's enough acceptance. That's enough. Okay? Live your freest life. Boom. There it is.
Drop mic.
Boom. I need a mic so I can drop it. But that's it.
Love it.
That's the A word of the day.
Right here on the St. Louis Hustle Podcast. Now it is time for us to get to our very, very special guest. I got a chance to hear some amazing things about this brother, and I know you know him very well. So I will let you do the honors of bringing to the studio right here in the St. Louis Hustle Podcast. Go ahead and introduce our special guest.
Man. St. Louis, you're welcome in advance, right? So our guest, super special guest, is coming up today. This young man, there's so much to say about him. He's a vocalist. He's a playwright. He is a community organizer. He is the booger with the sugar. I want you guys to make him feel super welcome. Welcome to the St. Louis Hustle Podcast. My little bro, Mr. Chris Hill, y'all. Yes.
What's going on? What's up?
But I know him.
So
Welcome to the show, bro.
I tried to coordinate my hat with my wall, so that was.
You know what? You know what? We appreciate the coordination. Now, because I was gonna talk about. You know what? We ain't talking about today because you coordinated.
I'm coordinated.
Coordinated. Man, brother Chris Hill, welcome to the show, man.
I appreciate y'all for having me. Honestly, I'm honored. I'm nervous. Anytime I could be on platforms with famous people like this, I guess start getting jitters and stuff like that. But
this dude, man.
Well, let me kick it off like this, Chris, man. And this is how I kick it off with all our guests. Tell the people who the heck is Chris Hill.
Most definitely, man. So just a little, I just ride with y'all. We're gonna talk family style. That's cool. Just a little bit about me. So I am born and raised from St. Louis, Missouri. And one of the things at a very early age I found passion in, I am what they call a pew baby. So I'm a church baby through and through. And I think that was kind of where just my love for people, my love for ministry came from. And it was almost, just to be honest, I didn't really have much of a choice anyway, because my mama and grandmama, we had prayer on Mondays.
Right. Come on.
We had Bible bed on Tuesdays.
Okay.
We had Bible study on Wednesdays. Thursday was choir rehearsal. Fridays was a revival or something. Very rarely did I not have church on a Friday night. Then Saturday we actually did a lot of times have free. Then Sunday was going to Sunday school, Sunday church all day. We're gonna go eat, and then we're gonna come back for evening service. So I did not really have much of a choice.
Right. You got chicken wing to today.
chicken and we're gonna have chicken dinners on Sunday, right after church in the vestibule in the fellowship hall.
That's the vestibule. Look. You gotta help me with this, Chris. What is BTU? Because I used to always, we got to go to BTU. What is BTU?
Okay, now see, I have friends all over. So I grew up Kojic. But from now, what I do understand, BTU was Baptist people. And see, I ain't know too much about that. I just thought like we couldn't hang around my Baptist cousins because my grandmama said they weren't saved enough.
That they weren't saved enough. They don't do their dance, sugar. They not saved enough. They going to hell with no dance moves.
Yeah,
no,
they ain't saved. They ain't saved for real. They just saved for real.
Yeah, we don't really know what that for real really mean, but whatever that meant, that it was the for real.
Right.
We was scared. But no.
Wait. I got one more. Wait. I got one more. It meant that they were saying for real. I mean, they get to go to heaven, but they got to be like on a janitorial staff.
Yeah, they got to quarantine in heaven for a little minute before they can come on all the way in.
Come on in the room. Okay.
Like stand out there. The heavenly foyer, y'all. Y'all hang out right here.
Like, hold on now. Y'all gotta
until you get your wings. Y'all right here. Y'all right here.
Okay. Oh my God. I can't already.
But because of that, that was one side of my upbringing. Definitely, my mother's side of the family is very, very spiritual, very rooted in the church. And then my father's side was very community oriented,
nice.
Very, very active, civilly. And actually, my great uncle, which is my grandmother's brother, and a lot of people just kind of found this about me. I come from the Gregory bloodline. My grandmother was a Gregory, so my uncle is my great uncle is Dick Gregory.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was my grandmother's brother. And so, of course, Christmas, Thanksgiving was really holidays. Really, the only time we would see him because he lived out of town. But him and my cousins and stuff like that, they would come and visit on certain holidays. And so, y'all talking about heavy conversation at a dinner table.
Okay, I'm sure.
Yeah. So so my love for community and people on that end too, what was on a whole nother scale, a whole different level. Just the heritage and stuff that lied on that side of my family. So on both sides, really, I was just kind of infused with the heart for people and community and God all the way around. And so everything about my personality strives from that. Like I've always been overly animated. I'm an overly animated person.
Jesus.
You don't say.
Ooh, you gotta know him. Boy, you gotta know this joker. But I love him.
I'm trying to be presentable right now. But like that was something that even for me, like was a big deal. Like I used to try to kind of suppress that animated side of me, because people would be like, dang, you a lot, like you too much, but
doing too much.
Doing too much. But then just kind of later on kind of figuring out that was part of my gifting too, which we'll share a little bit about that later. But yeah, that's pretty much me. That's pretty much me.
I love it. You know what? And you know me like you know me. I can so identify with that because I spent my whole childhood, because I grew up in Los Angeles and moved here as a teenager. So even in California, it was always, why you gotta be the one? Why you got why? So when I came to Missouri, I was like, okay, I'm just trying to tone down. I ain't gonna be that way. And that lasted about maybe 6 months. And I slowly started to pop and unravel. And I think when I got, and I'm grateful, and I'm gonna say this, I'm glad you learning it earlier in life than later, like I did. Now I'm an old woman and I'm like, we're gonna take the filter off. I don't give a darn. I'm gonna just be me, and you love me or hate me. But I absolutely love your energy. Even when I've seen you dealing with heavy things, you still have a way of affecting people. And I love to see that in you. it is your gifting. And like I said, I'm glad you know it now, because that's going to help you so much faster and quicker in your purpose. So speaking of purpose, I want to dive into, I want to start unpacking all that you do. Chris is when he said, okay, you do too much, he does so much, right? And so much starts with him, because he's becoming a beacon in our community. He is a young person that really has gained a platform for just pushing other people. I've not seen you where you've ever made it about you. And I love that about you, right? So you started this organization, foundation. Mm-hmm. You'll clear that up for me, called ManUp STL. Tell me about ManUp STL, just the seed for it, how you got going with it. Read now, go.
No, so well, I founded ManUp STL in 2017, and how it honestly became about was in 2015. I was at Harris Stowe, and there was this guy who was in my class. Literally, he was the same age as me. He came up to me one day after class, and he said, "You're supposed to mentor me." Okay. And I was like, "Okay, right." Right. So I was like, "Cool, bro. Like, well, see you around."
Right.
Okay, yeah. So I really didn't do anything with that. You know, he was kind of persistent, you know, trying not to be creepy, but trying to be persistent. And I just really went for it. I'm like, hey, I'm in college. Like, I don't really have time to do none of that right now. Like, I need guidance right now. Like, I was like, look, God bless you, and find somebody else. Right. And so I kind of just left that in limbo. And 3 years later, I ran back into him.
Wow.
3 years later, I ran back into him just randomly. Mm-hmm. And literally, he was like, I knew this was going to happen. And I was like, who are you? Right? Because it had been so long since I had seen him. So I honestly didn't remember. I was like, who are you, dude? Like, what are you doing? And he was like, you're supposed to mentor me. And when he said that, I remembered who he was. And so I was like, and at this point, you know, a lot can happen in 2-3 years. So, so things that happened, God had matured me a little bit. I was like, okay. I said, well, hey, let me get your number. You know, we started talking, and I just started pouring into him, not really knowing what I was even doing, you know, I didn't have no platform or no curriculum or nothing like that. It was just, I'll tell you about my life. I'll pour into you, you know, what God gives me and how Holy Spirit leads me with that. And you take what you could take. From that, he started like telling his friends I was mentoring him. So from that, they was like, you mind mentoring us, right? And I was like, not really.
The honesty. That part right there.
And I wasn't trying to mentor this joker. He done bullied me into mentoring him. So
no, for real, right? I was like, stop telling people this, right? And so, you know, and a lot of times, like, people have like really great stories. Like, I knew from the beginning I was going to do this. I really had no clue. And so from that, I started doing a small group with them like once a month. And they started growing so drastically, just pursuing things and like starting businesses and stuff like that. So I had an idea, and I was like, man, wouldn't it be crazy if we just did a mentorship, like, and open it up as a group, just for people to come, just in general. And so I made a Facebook post. And it was something generic. You know how people ask questions on Facebook. And I was like, hey, you know, what do you guys think about me doing a mentor group for young Black men? And of course, all these hundreds and hundreds of comments, like, that dog, we will do it, right? So I was like, wow. Like, so at the time, I went I went and I found a space to host this this first initial meeting that I thought, right, and which was at Coffee Cartel in the Central West End, which don't even exist anymore, right?
Wow. Yes.
And so I went in Coffee Cartel, y'all, and I showed up at the front door with like all these papers, like this stack of papers I had made of copies or whatever. And I told them at Coffee Cartel, I was like, I need this whole side. I'm finna pack this log out. There's gonna be so many people here. I'm finna bring out so much business, right? 8 people showed up.
That's
out of like 150 something comments, all these people talking about they're gonna support 8 people showed up. Right. So now I'm sitting there and I'm looking crazy, like, this is dumb. I don't know.
Oh no.
Why I thought this, right? Yeah, like this is dumb. I was like, okay, maybe I'm in myself, like maybe this wasn't a great idea. So I wasn't gonna do it. And one of the guys who was there, who was now one of my co-founders, I didn't schedule another meeting after that. I was honestly discouraged a little bit from that. So I was like, I'm gonna just stick with the little few people that I've been dealing with, because maybe it ain't for me to make bigger, you know. And my co-founder now, his name is Larry. He called me about a month later. He was like, hey, what's going on with the ManUp STL thing? And I was like, yeah, I'm not feeling it. So this dude says, I think you should try one more time. And he was like, well, I just said, he's like, you ain't got to worry about it. He's like, I'm going to set it up. You know, I'm going to get it together. Just show up. And I was like, okay. So he sets it up. He tells me, so the second meeting was at Cafe Napoli in Clayton. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to be real with y'all. I said, Larry, they didn't come to Coffee Cartel with $3 drink.
Right.
And why do you think we should move this to a high-end cafe in Clayton? Right. He was like, bro, just give it a try, blah, blah, blah. So I went ahead, I showed up. That second meeting, we had 32 guys.
Okay.
And I said, and honestly, this time, now the first time I had papers and all this, I was ready. This time I came already expecting it not like nobody to come. So I had nothing, like, I didn't have anything to pass out. In our first conversation, I remember it, our first conversation that we hosted was, what's your perspective of being a man? And so it was so many different perspectives that came from that. And from that was the initiation of ManUp SEL. And then it grew. People started catching the vision. People started wanting to be a part. We held our first event that following year. It was called Operation Suave, and it was an against stereotype movement where we had guys from all over. They dressed up in suits and stuff like that. We had
I remember the picture on Facebook.
Yes, we had 300 African American men in St. Louis come downtown, and we shut downtown down. Literally, we shut downtown down. We were on national news. We were in a newspaper, and that event is really what put us on the map. And so I'm a little excited to share with y'all, though. Just this year, we actually rebranded, so we're no longer ManUp St. Louis. We're actually ManUp Global now. Nice. So yeah, we just changed the name because now we have started chapters. So because of what cities were seeing and what we were doing here, they wanted to do it. So now we actually have officially 5 other cities. We have Phoenix, Arizona, Chicago, Illinois, Atlanta, Georgia, Houston, Texas, and I'm missing one, Memphis, Tennessee.
Wow. So I have a question, but then did you have a question, Cortez?
No, but we do need to go to a quick break.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Let's do that. But I am thoroughly impressed, man. You went from 8 to 32. You know, 8 is that number. So I'm excited about that. And then it just multiplied, and you guys are continuing to do great and wonderful things. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to continue with ManUp Global now. And some of the other things that Chris got going on. This ain't even a sliver of what this young man is doing out here in this community. Also, y'all make sure y'all keep it locked right here.
Hey, good morning, Wealth Champions. Hey, listen, if you want to be financially successful, then you have to do what financially successful people do. And I know there's a few things that all wealthy people have in common. Number one, they understand that building wealth is a team sport. Number two, they understand the power of capitalism and business enterprise. Number three, they love to use systems and leverage. And number four, they all have mentors. My name is H. CORTEZ.
All right, so that was an abbreviated break, as my commercial don't want to play.
I was like, go.
See, I'm just gonna let him use me. He said, "Man, cut that crap off and get back to this young man that's doing these great things." So, okay, yes, sir, I hear. So,
Come, Chris. I'm gonna come for the interview, but bring it the Holy Ghost with me. Okay, you brought back up. Oh, it's okay.
And I was really tuned in. I was like, this is a good commercial.
Right. Here's a commercial king. That's what he do. All he do is make commercials now. But so Chris, talk to us a little bit. First of all, super excited about the ManUp Global. I just one small thing, and you don't necessarily speak on it now. I just want you to think on it. Let me know when y'all get the 50 and up chapter of the men's, and just let me know if y'all need somebody serve drinks or something. Cook a good meal. I mean, I ain't a good cook, but I mean, we can find somebody to cook, and I just be there. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. My bad. Damn, I forgot about Mr. Wonderful. I'm sorry. I'm seeing somebody. Dang, I forgot. Sorry, Mr. Wonderful. He gonna be like, really? This what you doing? I'm sorry.
It wasn't. I ain't say nothing. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to support. I was trying to.
I appreciate all the support. Yeah.
Look, you beg me to watch the show every morning, and this what you do?
Sorry.
So listen.
I'm sorry.
You ain't gonna break up with me on text. You're gonna break up with me on live
on the show. That's what we're doing now. So you got a show, and now you just gonna do this? Okay.
Right. Oh, you showing out. You got Chris Hill. Now you think you just gonna ManUp Global. You gonna dump a brother, huh? Okay. No, I'm sorry, Mr. Wonderful. No more boat rides for me. My bad. We was just praying. Woo, okay. We want to talk about we want to talk about something else. Is it hot in here? It's hot in here.
Go back to it, guys.
Okay. Help me, Jesus. Worship leader, right? So, you are a phenomenal worship leader. There's so many things on the list that we still have to get to, but I did want to tap this just a little bit. When did you have to have a call? I know you have a call on your life. When did you realize that you had a call on your life for all things spiritual? And when did you say, okay, this ministry leader thing, okay. When did that hit for you?
Yeah, I was young. So I got saved when I was 8. Like for real, say, like no lie. And I was 15. When I was 15 in my mom's church, I was the president of our music department. So yeah, and that was a lot. It was cool, but it was a lot. And this was the thing though, because I was so young. I knew that God wanted me to do more, but I wasn't ready for that. I feel like I wanted to be young, and so it was easy for me to sing in the church, and still kind of do my thing. But when God started tugging me to preach, I started getting nervous.
Wow.
And so I was like, no, I don't think we should be. I don't think we want to add more guys. I think we're good.
We got enough.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think we good, but man, I fought it for a long time just because I felt like and my testimony was a little different. A lot of people had testimonies where before they got saved, all this stuff was happening, and I always tell people my testimony is different because I had been in church all my life. I was almost trying to create a testimony for myself because I felt like I didn't have nothing. Right. And I was like, people would ask me, and I'd be like, "Yeah, I grew up in church.
I've been here.
Never was was a drug addict or never was, never got shot,
Right.
I was just shouting. Right. And so it was almost like I was looking for something. So I was trying all of this different stuff, trying to fit into spaces that God never really called me to fit into. And it wasn't until I was like 21, 22, where I was like, okay, all right, God, like,
Right.
And so I went ahead, and at the time, before I transitioned to the ministry where I'm playing it now, I told my bishop, I was like, I feel God tugging me, and I don't know what to do, and he, immediately, like literally like that next month, enrolled me into minister in training, and then God released me from that ministry and placed me in my current ministry, the Worship Center, St. Louis, under the leadership of Pastor Maya. I want to shout my pastor out real quick.
Yes.
And and then she even began to cultivate me, and she was so hard on me, but it was such a necessary process.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's awesome. I just keep going, Cortez. You got this like double dutch. You got to jump in there. Jump on in.
And I love it. There's a couple of things that you mentioned, someone being hard on you, and I don't think people get the fact that that's where the true love is. Because if I didn't love you, then I just put you on out. It's because I love you that I keep grinding on you, keep trying to shape you, keep trying to mold you, trim you up, and you like, hey, I'm good. Like, no, I'm not. So I love that.
Man.
But then when you also look at you've been in leadership role for so long, what would you say are some of the greatest attributes of leader? If you were talking to a 15-year-old, a 17-year-old, 19-year-old young man who is looking to grow into leadership, what would you say are some of the pillar things that they need to focus on to start developing that leadership character?
So, and this is funny, y'all. I'm teaching a leadership retreat tomorrow.
Won't God do it?
So, one, I would say the three main things. When you're developing leadership, find you a good leader. Mm-hmm. And I say that because you cannot. It is hard to lead from a place where you had no experience of following. Mm-hmm. And now I think sometimes that's a issue for a lot of people is we want to be the line leader, but ain't got no following because we never followed nobody either. And so we don't even know what that frame for leadership looks like because we never have been accountable to anybody. And there were times, and just the segue in, I'm gonna get to point two. But there were times where, even in my leadership, even with my pastor now, and I'm groaned in the mud, right? I might post something on Facebook, and it's just a joke, a meme or something, and my pastor would text me, and she'd be like, "You need to take that down." And I'm like, it's funny, but being accountable to a leader, and subjecting my flesh to the God in my leader, but also then to the things that I want to do. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take that down because my leader asked me to take that down, and then that helps develop me to say I'm humble and submitted as a servant, but also that puts me in position enough to lead. And it reminds me, and I'm not gonna preach, but it reminds me of Joshua and Moses. He was submitted to Moses, and so that's how, because of his submission and watching Moses' leadership, that's why God anointed him to be able to continue in leadership, because he was submitted from that. But then I'm sorry, I said Joshua Joseph. And then the point two, I would say, is actually get you and develop your skill. Because too many, and I've seen so many people are talented, but then they don't really put any skill to it. You don't take no trainings, you don't do no schooling, you don't get no education, you don't find you anybody. And so it's like you want to lead or you want to start this business or you want to do this thing, but you haven't really taken time to perfect whatever it is your craft is. So that would be the second point. And my third point would just be honestly trusting yourself enough to lead. I meet so many leaders who the person that's in the front think they the leader, but the person in the back really the one that's leading.
Pushing the line.
And them not being confident enough in themselves to know you're actually the appointed leader because they listen to you. Like
come on.
He walking in the front, but they listening to you.
Dirty. Come on.
And so like learning how to actually be confident in yourself to know that, okay, I'm submitted, I got the skill, and I'm confident to walk this out.
Love it, love it, love it.
Man, that's awesome. That takes us right into you being I because I follow you online. This would have been a bad joke. I follow you with a parking lot too. I'm just saying.
Now I'm gonna be watching.
Oh, pray for the saints. I couldn't pass that up. I'm sorry.
Why do I feel like somebody's watching me?
As I Homer Simpson into the bush, never here. Okay. But that brings us right to, because I follow you online and I see a lot of your posts, and you have so many insightful things to say, and you always hashtag it the purpose pusher. Right. And so does that fall into line where, you started mentoring and people seek you out for advice? When you took on, kind of put on the jacket of purpose pusher, what is that? What is the accountability in that for you? What does it mean to you personally?
Yeah. So the purpose pusher became my personal brand. And it kind of started off as a joke, honestly, but I started identifying my strength as helping push people into their purpose. When this is the hard part, right? In one season of my life, kind of like I told y'all, it was when I was younger, when I was a kid, I started looking for a testimony to say. You got to be careful about what you ask God for. Then as I got older, he gave me a real one. Okay. And in that, it was like stuff was happening back to back to back to back. And it was in one season, like I went through depression, and I actually got diagnosed with depression, and I was taking medication, like all kind of stuff. And it got to a point later down life where almost everything that I did and poured into people were things that God had already had me experience. And what I realized was a part of the purpose was me having to live it out to pour it out. Yes. And so now, I tell people all the time, you have to be spiritually mature, because now it's certain things that I go through, and before I complain, I said, God, who is this for? Because I identify that when I released my life fully to God, that this was no longer the Chris show. He would allow things to happen, and it would happen to me, but it would be for Michelle, or it will be for Billy, or for Mandy, or whatever. And not realizing that, God will make my life interject in other people's lives, and kind of using that. And so like God drops nuggets down into me and little things, and I would push it out there and hashtag purpose pusher, because no matter what, we all have a purpose. We all have a purpose, and everybody, sometimes, just like on the swing, you can swing yourself, but sometimes you need a little push to go a little higher.
There it is.
Awesome. So, yeah.
I love that.
Love it. I want to talk about that you leadership role, founded this organization that broke down the barriers and the walls of St. Louis and spilled out into other cities. And how are you guys managing those connections with the other chapters? And is it something that you had to go and seed yourself, or did somebody reach out to you online and be like, hey, bro, we need to start doing that here? Do you have a template? Do you have a model that we can follow? So what was that process like in seeding those other organizations in other cities?
Ooh, CORTEZ, you just gone.
He ain't playing. He ain't playing. He ain't playing. My question was gonna be, are they all called ManUp? That's all I had.
Oh, yes. Okay, so just in short, so we built an online community. So really real quick, and during the pandemic, we couldn't be out in the community anymore. So what we did was we built a Facebook group, which was called our social community. And in this, I don't know if y'all ever tried to get black men specifically to do anything, but it's hard to get 5 black men to do something together. So our online community grew to 2.2 thousand men.
Come on.
And so so shout out, if there's any guys watching, you can join. It's free to join our online community on Facebook. Is the ManUp community. But so from there, people started adding their friends, and it was people from all over. It was people from all, it wasn't just St. Louis, which is how we actually bridged this year into being global. Because they reached out and they was like, yo, we need this in Chicago. We need this in Houston. We need this. And so what I did do was I have a team of 12 directors and a total team of 34. And what's amazing about this, none of us are on salary. All of us are volunteer-based staff.
Wow.
And so literally, I thank God for them every day, because they work for me after they get off work. So, so I value them so much. But we came together. We built a curriculum. We built a structure on how to start your chapters, what those look like, leadership roles that they would need. So we start off with president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. They established that, and then we also we do have certain funds that we allocate to different chapters so they can get started, and they all are called ManUp, but we tag along their city chapter. So although we're ManUp Global, we have a ManUp St. Louis chapter, ManUp STL chapter. Then there's ManUp Chi, ManUp Houston, ManUp Memphis. So that's kind of how we organized it.
Yeah, man, you ain't lying about the brothers thing. Brothers can't get together to do nothing.
It's hard, man. It's hard.
Except who? We can get together.
Yeah,
we can
you know what I'm saying?
We can get together and pick teams. That's about it, man. And even that gets hard. No, I'm captain. No, I'm captain. No, you pick. No, you pick. It's crazy, but I'm so thankful for someone like you and staying committed and like my man Nipsey Hussle would say, staying 10 toes down to the grind, because it is a grind, and doing God's work in the lives of pouring into other men and showing them and leading by example. My last question is leading older folks, right? As a young man, that is not always easy because of experience and wisdom. And let's keep it 100, ego. How has that experience been for you? Or do they come in humble and just say, hey, man, you're doing great work. You know, I want to serve wherever I can.
Now they do.
Okay.
Now they do. What I find interesting about the older generation, they have to see results. Yep. They have to see results, and so when I first started, it was very hard to get somebody over 40, honestly, to even catch what we're doing. And don't get me wrong, they'll support, they just won't participate. They'll cash at me here $20. God bless y'all. What y'all doing? Right. And that all of that was still appreciated, but not actually like coming and helping and committed to the work. I relate myself with the similar anointing of David, and how even though God anointed him to be king, people watch Tim tend to the sheep first. And so even in that retrospect, I understood, even with the older generation, let them watch me tend to the sheep before they can get comfortable with God placing me in a higher place.
Come on.
And so that was, that was a place that was challenging for me, because there were certain people that I really did need help from, just because of where they've been and their wisdom, and and not I don't think anybody did it out of ill intention. It's just that they didn't really take it seriously until they saw certain things, which made me in my nippy hustle grind harder, because now I felt like, well, I kind of got something to prove. Like, I have to, we gonna do this, we gonna make it happen. So yeah, now we good. But then it was, woo, yeah.
They walk around pulling their belts up. Well, you ain't gonna tell me how to do. I raised your boy. You ain't gonna. No, I'm not doing it.
No, for real.
He's doing. Sorry. Woo. Okay. Let's see. I do want to get into just a couple more things, because I know we're winding down on time.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to combine these last two.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna put you on the spot, so you probably like, Shell, hey, charge it to my head, not my heart.
Okay.
So get your pipes together.
Oh God.
Get the pipes, and you be like, I'm not doing it. Pastor be in my inbox. Why would you ask? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. No, just playing. Sorry, Pastor. I'm just joking. She was like, all that time you weren't funny. Now you funny. No, sorry. Sorry. No, I'm just playing. Sorry. Okay. You are I just love you. You're my little brother, and you're like I got all these big little brothers, right? Am I that old? I am, I guess. But you're my big little brother in that you're a playwright. You love concept, movie concept, television concept. So you, I know, because we were in the same ministry for a number of years, and I love, anybody knows me, I love drama and acting and all of that. So Chris actually wrote several of our plays for our church that we would do throughout the year, and he's an awesome director, an awesome playwright. One of your newest projects was I believe, reality television show called Family and Friends. So you could kind of summarize you creating content and then lead us into a family of friends, and then we'll wrap up with our final comments. But
gotcha. Yeah. So man, when creativity and content is such a it's really a hard thing. People think content is easy, but it's really not. And essentially my love for theater really came from church, honestly, because y'all know, when you younger, you gonna be in a Christmas play, you gonna be in the Easter play, like you gonna be in something. And so even from that, I started learning under who was in my old church. Her name is Raphael Darden, and she's amazing, amazing playwright. She has a production called Bible Stories. That's a phenomenal. It's traveled, and I was under her. She really taught me how to write scripts. How to write scripts and how to piece together stories. But one of the most important things for the narrative, she taught me how to see God everywhere. And where my lens was only like, oh, God shows up like this. Like, I one day I prayed for God to give me creativity in my sight. And God would reveal himself in cartoons. I'm not joking. Like, I could be watching SpongeBob, and SpongeBob would say something, and I'll be like,
that preach.
And it started almost getting annoying, but it would be God, it would be Holy Spirit inspired content in everyday life. just in the grocery store, overhearing a conversation with a somebody on the phone, or going in Walmart and seeing an interaction between a parent and their children, and that would be, God would be like, that's what you're gonna use, and that's what you're gonna use, and that's how you're gonna use that to minister. And so it would be all of those, and I would just write it. I would just write it down. And so that would be really the inspiration, just learning how to see God and what you want me to write about in this moment. And a lot of the pieces that I do are ministry inspired, so a lot of it was for ministry. So I still write. I add comedy in and stuff like that, but I still write to a place to speak to the heart of God people. And so that's in one place. But then when we got to family and friends, I thought this really cool concept that my friends, we would do a reality show. And so what happened was we were all friends individually, but I kind of brought us all together because there was not a place socially on media space where they showcase positive Black Christian friends. And so we came up with a family of friends because we were a group of friends that turned into family. And so we kind of started with social media. We had some episodes on YouTube, and people started really digging us. We was like, we kind of like tight a little bit. Yeah. And so with that, but even in that was different from my script writing, because that was, now I have to create content involving us. And that was a lot different. And so then that got into more of the marketing side, the content creation side of really realizing what do people want to see? What are people looking for? And so now taking even that part of marketing intelligence and learning how to infuse it in your content. So it's a process. Yeah.
Right there.
Nice. I love it, man.
I saw your ears perk up when you said that. He said the intelligence and marketing. Excuse me. Did you call my name? Yeah. Did you call my name? I'm here.
What you say?
What's that?
No, I turned into Michelle's daddy. That's an inside. That's inside joke. So man, this has been amazing, brother. Yes. We are certainly going to keep up with you, and definitely have to have you on. And if you got any for real commercials, since mine wouldn't play, about anything that you got going on, any promos, you can always slide that to us, man. We'll get that into the show and onto the pages. And I definitely want to see what you do continue to grow and continue to blossom. So we're at the time of the show where everybody's got 30 seconds to give their final thoughts, and we're out of here.
Okay. All right. I'll jump. Ladies first. Okay. My final comments are, man, as I continue the journey on this whole self-love thing, love yourself, people. Got to love yourself. Love God first, then love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't love your neighbor. I also want to say to our guests, I love you. You know I love you. And you're a special dude in so many ways. And I'm just proud to say I know him. I will be. I'm a fan of, don't say it unless you mean it. Because you know the things that I think you have a sense of the things that are in me as well. Just like that dude right there. We talked about people pushing. This dude pushes me, and he doesn't have to. And I'm grateful for that. And God is bringing strong people in my life that are helping to gird me up. And I just really believe in my heart that you're one of those people. And I just want to see you go as far as God is going to just take you, which is going to be is limitless. So I'm super proud just to say that I know you and you know, man, you that deal. Kind of like a big deal. You are a big deal. That part right there. Man, so you go next. Hit us with the 30 seconds of the thing.
Got you. First I will say to everybody, this is just a small plug for any guys and women. We have women's division, right? Awesome. Please go visit our website. It's www.manupglobal.org. Awesome. Go visit us there. I'll tell you all about it. But I would just leave with this. And I know it's early in the morning, people watching. But I really just kind of felt God dropped this in my spirit. Trust your season. Trust the season that you in. Something significant happened where a week ago, March 21st, in one day we transition from winter to spring, and that's how quick God changes seasons. Period. And so realize a season is a season, can't last always. And when you enter into the new season, trust that season.
Love it, love it, love it. Michelle's A word of the day. She really alluded to authenticity, being who you are, and just understand that if people don't like it, they got to take it up with your Father because He made you that way. So stand and walk in it.
What that is.
Till we talk to you guys next time, we want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up.
Hey.
Now, that is really it. But I can't stop it without killing the whole thing. So I am going to have to edit it now in post-production.
No, but this was great.
That was it. So I'll just cut this piece off. But great job, man. Appreciate you.
Y'all. I told y'all. I should have told y'all. Cut me off if I was talking too much.
No, you know what? Good information. If you could, because we're gonna run a thumbnail and everything for the show, promos for the show leading up to Tuesday. Once we put it out there, if you'll just share it on your timeline, that have people tune in and watch it. It'll, like I said, it'll be like it's live, and just to drive that, and we'll do that because it's just I believe in what you do. And then two, this guy right here, I think he'd be a phenomenal member of ManUp because he does, man. This dude right here, his quick. I'm gonna tell his testimony because that's what I do. I tell other people. we worked together at Equifax and for a number of years, and just one day some things happened, and he was just like, you know what? His badge is his laptop. Take that right there, and he walked away, stepped out on faith into entrepreneurship full time, and they look back and has just been really a driving force.
We do got the flyer already down.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. You got let me see the. Look at that, right? Come on.
Special guest.
Come on. Righteous hustle. You better You better.
I didn't know about ManUp Global this morning when I put the
it's okay.
Man, that's man. Look at that. Look at that smile. No. Man, but yeah, so I think I really would love for you guys. I love for great people to connect. So I definitely wanted you guys to meet. Secret Mission wanted y'all to meet on the other side of this as well because I think iron certainly sharpen iron. So
sounds like something that I would love to be a part of and serve where I can, man. So
and it's just great too for the network too as well. Like it's so many different people and guys in there that do so many different things. Like I said too, we have a women's division too. So that'll be that'd be awesome. What's the women's division called? Women Stand Up.
I'm gonna definitely reach out for that information because I want more community involvement, and I'm doing some things with some self-love stuff and some folks that I'm associated with, and I want to be a part of that.
Yeah, so. and they started a community page too, and I was actually going to say too, and this is also something that we can share too in the community page.
Okay,
I think because we literally I think we had like 2,204 or something like that. Yeah,
that's awesome. That's so awesome.
Man. Yeah, so that would be dope too. So y'all just remind me to share it to that page too, because I share it to mine, but I'll make sure to remember to share it to our ManUp page too.
Love it. So we'll push it out live. So that means Michelle, you get an off day on Tuesday.
I'm gonna be working. I'm trying to do like him, walk on my job too. So I'm gonna be working Tuesday on all my online stuff. So anyway. Chris, thank you so much, bro. Look at Guy. Your headphones held up. God was like, I got you, bro. I got you, bro. Why you better give it to? Come on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. So, man. So, look, have a great rest of your weekend. Love you and I miss you. And tell the fam I said, hey, just keep praying for me.
Always.
Man. Yeah. So I'll see you, Cortez, on the other side. Y'all have a great one here.
All
All right. Love you guys.
All right,
Bye-bye.